In order to determine the density of a metal, we're going to need a few things. We need a 200 milliliter beaker. We need a graduated cylinder. We need our metal. We need to tare or the balance. We want to tare it by clicking the tare button. It zeroes it out. We're going to bring the beaker to the balance and make sure we zero it out. So again, you put the beaker on the scale. We hit tare, it zeroes it out. Then we remove the beaker from the scale. We're going to add the metal. So make sure you have it set to realistic, and we're going to click hold to pour. And that's going to add the metal to the beaker. So now we've added the metal to the beaker, and it doesn't matter how much metal you add to the beaker, just enough so that you see a difference in the volume displacement. And so now we need to measure the mass of the metal in the beaker. So you're going to drag and put the beaker onto the balance and record its measurement. So again, place the beaker with the metal on the balance, record its mass. This will be the mass of the metal in the beaker. Now that we've done that, we remove the beaker and we got to determine the volume of the metal. So we're going to need a graduated cylinder. Again, with volume displacement, we're going to add some water into the graduated cylinder and then add our metal and record the final volume in the graduated cylinder. So we're going to need a distilled water, but we can't just add directly to the graduated cylinder. We're going to get a beaker. And we're going to add some water from the jug to the beaker. So you click hold to pour. You don't need much, just enough to add it to the graduated cylinder. So now we're going to add some to the graduated cylinder. Again, you don't want too much. You just want enough so that you can see the change in the volume. If you put too much water, then it could overfill, and we don't want that to happen. Now we have our initial level of water in the graduated cylinder. Make sure you record this. You can right click, do detailed view, and you can record the volume of the water in the graduated cylinder. Then we bring our beaker. We're going to attach it or add the metal into the graduated cylinder and record the final volume of the graduated cylinder. So now that you've added all of the metal to the graduated cylinder, you want to record the final volume. Then the difference between the initial and final volume is the volume of the metal. And that's how you determine the density of this metal one. So you would determine the density, you have the mass, you have the volume, you can find the density compared to the densities of the known metals and see what's the identity of metal one. And that's how you go about doing the unknown density of a solid, unknown solid density lab.